Hi everybody and welcome to the beginning of Season 76, a Bearcat Update. But as for today, we'll be updating you on how the seasons are looking for our spring sports. From the historic night for Kaylee Keston, a resurgent couple of wins in baseball, a look back on Bearcat sport history, and everything in between. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. After a scorching 7-1 start to the season, the Bearcat women's basketball team has struggled to get back on track as they've gone 4-11 in their last 15 games. After a pair of wins against top 5 ranked opponents, the team has labored to put the ball in the basket. On Thursday, Northwest traveled to Edmond, Oklahoma. Despite out-rebounding the Broncos, they were unable to find a way to win, falling 61-44. It was the first time all season the Bearcats had out-rebounded an opponent and come away with a loss. Despite a double-double from senior Kelsey Fields, the Bearcats couldn't get it going offensively as they shot just 24.5% from the field, a season low. But the Bearcats were out for revenge on Saturday. They got a win back in the win column, and the spotlight landed on Kaylee Keston. After pouring in 21 points, Keston found herself in rare air. She became just the 30th Bearcat to score 1,000 points. It was a team win as they fired on all cylinders, with the Northwest bench outscoring Rogers State 22-6 en route to a 76-73 road win. The win extends the all-time record against Rogers State to 10-0, and at 11-12 on the season for the Bearcats, they head home for a homestand against Missouri Southern and Pitt State. It's the start of a new era for the Northwest baseball team as new head coach Tony Jandron is working the kinks out in the first few weeks of action. After a 1-3 start in Colorado, the Bearcats got back to work and took their talents to Memphis, Tennessee to face off against Christian Brothers. The Bearcats weren't fazed after a couple of losses as they took home 2 victories against Christian Brothers. After losing 22-2 against Regis, the Bearcats battled back and notched an 11-5 win as the Bats came alive in the 9th. Northwest notched 7 ones in the 9th to take home the first game in the series. Despite falling 6-8 in the opening match of a doubleheader, the Bearcats came storming back with a vengeance as they dominated their way to a 16-0 shutout. They've weathered the early storm, sitting at 3-4 on the season so far, and they have one more leg of the series remaining as they are in the field of play right now. Get going, Bearcats. But with more on Coach Jandron, we get a chance to sit down with him ahead of their road trip. BCU newcomer Lauren Slocum has the story. Take it away, Lauren.
The Northwest baseball team welcomes a new head coach to the program for the first time in 24 seasons after previous coach Darren Lowe announced his retirement. Tony Jandron accepted the head coach position in June, making him the 10th head coach in Northwest history. Before coming to Northwest, Jandron previously was an assistant coach at Illinois State, Central Michigan, Northwood, and the College of DuPage. Jandron said that he has been preparing to become a head coach his entire career, and while it's been a challenging adjustment, he's had a lot of fun embracing the position.
It's been a huge adjustment as far as all the administrative duties, obviously taking over the budget and trying to supplement some of that stuff, but it's been a lot of fun in the transition, and been prepared for this. Got my master's degree in 2019 in organizational leadership, so something I've been prepared to do. It was just a great opportunity at the right time.
Jandron said the opportunity of becoming a head coach is very important to him. He keeps an open dialogue between himself and the players, hoping to give them the tools they need to continue to have a productive season.
Well, it means a lot that they trust me for this opportunity, to compete at this level. I think, obviously my resume, being 6 years at Division I and being successful at the Division II level, I've kind of jumped around all different ranks, and I'm excited for the challenge here. And like I said, we just want a successful program that's going to compete at the top of the league. And we want to hunt championships, but we're also, we want to take steps to get there as well.
Jandron's goal for this season as head coach is to continue to develop the team while learning about one another. Northwest plays in a tough, grueling league, which Jandron says gives them opportunities to learn about the team dynamic while embracing the challenges that come with it. His top priority by the end of the year is making sure the team is striving to play its best baseball. Jandron coaches alongside assistant coaches Theo Bartolomeo and Javier Martinez. Northwest Baseball will travel to Memphis, Tennessee on February 7th to take on the Christian Brothers University.
Speaking of new head coaches, the Bearcat men's basketball team traveled to Edmond, Oklahoma, but unfortunately suffered the same fate as the women's team. Northwest committed a season-high 26 turnovers as self-inflicted mistakes mounted in an 82-55 loss to the Broncos. But that wasn't their only action of the week as they traveled to Claremore on Saturday. Unfortunately, the Bearcats weren't able to get back in the win column as their losing streak stands at 8 despite a late rally that included a last-minute 19-7 run to end the game. It was Rogers State securing their first victory against Northwest in any basketball match. Northwest was previously 18-0. The Bearcats out-rebounded, scored more bench points, and had less turnovers as well. As they navigate the first season under Coach Keeley, they're still working out some kinks but are making strides as the season nears its end. They head back home 4-17 with a home match against Missouri Southern awaiting. For Bearcat football fans, the 16 days after the departure of head coach Rich Wright were more than uncertain. But on December 5th, fans got an early Christmas gift as Northwest named former All-MIAA quarterback and Bearcat alum John Mcmenamin as the 21st head coach in program history. Mcmenamin is an offensively minded head coach and most recently was a part of the biggest one-year turnaround in NCAA history. His time as the Tulane pass game coordinator produced 10 wins, a Cotton Bowl victory, as well as ranking top 20 in passing efficiency, scoring, and red zone offense. On Wednesday, Bearcat Nation continued his expansion as new head coach John Mcmenamin announced the signing of 40 new faces in the 2025 recruiting class. The class saw 20 offensive players, 19 defensive players, and a place kicker packing their bags for Maryville. Despite an offensively minded head coach, the program attacked a balanced class as they officially leap into the Mcmenamin era of Northwest football. But despite the fact that soccer last laced them up in November, that doesn't mean their successes of last season can't still be recognized. In a year that saw Northwest extend their winning season streak to 8, it was a season of change and growth. Saying goodbye to all-time leader in goals and assists after the 2023 season left a vacuum of leadership. It was none other than sophomore Jimena Arnau that took much of those responsibilities. On the field, she set herself apart and now stands amongst the best in the nation. Our crew member Anthony Martinez gives us a recap of the season, and the women continue to rack up achievements. Take it away, Anthony.
Hey guys, I'm Anthony Martinez. I'm here with Bearcat Update today. I'll be recapping the season for the Northwest Missouri State women's soccer team, along with acknowledging some accolades that the team picked up over winter break. The Bearcats managed to have a decent season. After getting 7 wins, 6 draws, and 6 losses overall, and getting 5 wins, 5 draws, and 3 losses in MIAA play, the team was able to manage to keep above a 500 season. Though the season did not end how they wanted, they still earned some accolades during the offseason, some of which include Jimena Arnau being named to the United Soccer Coaches All-Central Region second team. Jimena started in 18 games out of the 18 appearances that she made for the team. She made and was able to score 6 goals this past season. Her having a multi-goal performance versus Southwest Baptist made coaches put her on the radar for this type of award. Another award that the Bearcats got this winter break was earning the Silver Ethics and Sportsmanship Award. This award is to recognize the fair play that the Bearcats played with. This award is determined by the amount of cards you received in a game. Safe to say, the Bearcats have not received too many cards this season. As the offseason is coming to a close and the preseason is starting to ramp up, we cannot wait to see where this next upcoming season will take them and all the things they will accomplish. This is Anthony Martinez, Bearcat Update, signing off.
Track and field spent the week at home as they battled the nation's best in the Bearcat Invite. It was senior Maxim Toron that brought his game to a new level as he set a Bearcat meet record in the 800 meter as he finished in 1 minute and 50 seconds on the dot. But the 800 meter run dominance doesn't end there as freshman Marie Dea clocked in at just over 2 minutes and 9 seconds as she landed the 3rd fastest time in school history. Maxim Touron was once again part of history as he and the rest of the distance medley crew set a new Northwest record. The men's 4x400 team took second place as they set position and marks ahead of the MIAA championships in 3 weeks. It was also a day of celebration as 19 seniors were honored during Saturday's action. We'd like to thank them for their hard work the last 4 years and wish them luck to close out the season. As we head into the first break of the show, make sure to stick around as we take a trip down memory lane. We'll be right back.
Here at Tower Yearbook, we are a dedicated staff of photographers, designers, copywriters, and practicum students.
Our staff is a student-led, student-run media outlet, producing a book with over 300 pages. Here to pop out at any of our portrait or distribution events.
So stay tuned to our social media to see what's up.
So you want to know how to be creative? I think I know some people.
Here at KNWT,
we know a thing or two about creativity.
Whether that be weekly shows, promos, or social media,
we got you covered.
We write, film, and edit to bring creativity to all of our work.
I mean, our national awards speak for themselves.
So if you want to know how to be creative,
we can show you.
Creative Services.
Welcome back to Bearcat Update. Let's take a look into Bearcat past. Despite being recently departed from Northwest, it is the group of former champion Bearcats that lead the squad for the Drake Bulldogs men basketball team. Head coach Ben McCollum has guided the team to a 22-2 record as former Bearcats make an impact in the Missouri Valley Conference. After 15 years with Northwest, head coach Ben McCollum amassed a staggering 394-91 record, as well as 4 national championships. McCollum led Northwest just last year, but his legacy lives on forever, achieving 3 consecutive championships and a dominance over the MIAA. Along with Coach McCollum, the team lost a few players to the transfer portal as they joined McCollum with the Bulldogs. Isaiah Jackson, Daniel Abreu, and Mitch Mascari left Northwest as champions, and Bennett Sturtz left as a high-volume guard from the moment he donned the green and white, securing the 22-23 MIAA Freshman of the Year honors. The loss of ex-Bearcats cemented the change to a new era of Northwest basketball. In the midst of their inaugural season at Drake, we figured it was time to give an update to the former Bearcats. Take it away, Ryan.
With the breakout success of Bearcat
the Drake
Update
Bulldogs
and
out of Des
part-time
Moines,
wide receiver
Iowa,
Luke
have
Matthews,
become a
I
huge
figured it was
talking
time to take a
point
look
in
at
the
previous
D1
Bearcat
basketball
wide
world
receivers
after
and how the
beginning this
position has
season
evolved over
with
the
big
years.
name victories
For
over
context,
schools such
Luke
as
Matthews ended
the
2024
University of
with 38
Miami,
catches,
Florida
727
Atlantic
yards,
University,
and a pair of touchdowns.
and Vanderbilt University. Drake's popularity was reaching a new level, and that was thanks to the new additions from the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats. Along with these on-court additions, leading the team is former head coach of the Bearcats, Ben McCollum. He has led this team to an impressive 21-2 record so far this season, while going 11-2 in conference play. If you are unaware, the Northwest Missouri State men's basketball team completely changed looks after this offseason when the head coach, Ben McCollum, signed a contract to coach for Drake University, a private university in Iowa. When McCollum left with them, he took 4 of his best players from the Bearcat roster. Bennett Sturtz, being one of those players, has taken a huge step in his progression since making the jump to Division I basketball. He is averaging more in every statistical category than he did last season in Division II. Not to mention that he is now playing 38 minutes a game this year and has completely solidified himself as the leader of this new Bulldog team. Other Bearcats, such as Daniel Abreu, Isaiah Jackson, and Mitch Mascari, also followed their coach to Drake. Mitch Mascari and Daniel have taken the leap to D1 with ease, as well as Bennett, as they have both become integral parts of their team. Mascari is shooting an outstanding 46% from the three this season, while Daniel continues to be a presence in the paint on both sides of the ball. The Bulldogs are looking to make a run to March Madness this season, and with 7 games left in the season and a first-place position in the MVC, they're looking to have a pretty good shot at it. This has been Ryan King from Bearcat Update.
Thanks, Ryan. The Bearcat football team has produced plenty of talent to the pros throughout their 29 consecutive winning seasons. There's never been a shortage of playmakers. Despite the changes ahead, the Bearcats have the strong cultures and traditions they've always had. Sometimes the best way to get back on track is to look back at where you've been, which is exactly what the program did by bringing in former Bearcat quarterback John Mcmenamin to bring a punch to the offense of Northwest. Throughout his time as a player, he was recognized by the MIAA as one of the nation's best, but most importantly, was recognized as a leader on the team. At the time of his graduation, Mcmenamin was the owner of 27 different Northwest and MIAA passing records. Of them is the Northwest single-game passing yards mark, as he recorded 473 yards versus Central Missouri. As Coach Mcmenamin takes charge, we figured a blast from the past couldn't hurt. We look back at one of the best stars of the last football season. For this one, our producer Killian Beck is jumping in. Take it away.
With the breakout success of Bearcat Update scriptwriter and part-time wide receiver Luke Matthews, I figured it was time to take a look at previous Bearcat wide receivers and how the position has evolved over the years. For context, Luke Matthews ended 2024 with 38 catches, 727 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. He landed on the All-MIAA second team for his play on the field, as well as being named to the Academic All-District team for his work in the classroom. As recently as 2021, the Bearcats produced a receiver to the NFL. As in Jaden Davis' senior season, he led the charge with a monstrous 10 touchdowns and over 700 yards. In the Bearcats' most recent playoff win, it was Davis that took charge as he nabbed a pair of touchdown catches. After going undrafted in 2021, Davis has bet on himself and grinded his way to a multitude of NFL opportunities. He signed with 4 different teams in his short career, but most notably he made a splash in the 2024 preseason while on the Detroit Lions as he scored this massive touchdown in his homecoming game.
1st and 10, Sudfeld play action. Looking down the middle of the field, and that is caught. Jaden Davis, and he's off to the races. No one's going to catch him. Touchdown, Lions. 61 yards for Jaden Davis.
Quickly before I go, I'd like to mention the most recent wide receiver to get NFL attention. As after the 2023 season, it was Trayvon Alexander that caught the eye of the New York Jets, as he spent training camp with them. Although things didn't work out, Alexander is now working on his game with the Bay Area Panthers of the Indoor Football League as they kick off action in March. So, as Luke Matthews heads into his last dance with the Bearcats, we'll be cheering him on as he impresses not only Bearcat Nation, but the eyes of the next level. From Bearcat Update, I'm Killian Beck, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
Thanks, Killian. But with the addition of a new coach, the journey of former Bearcats head coach Rich Wright continued as he is staying in the MIAA. After 2 decades in the green and white, it'll be tough to see the former captain of the ship in Mule Red. Wright signs on as a defensive coordinator, a position he's more than experienced at. Throughout his tenure as Northwest defensive coordinator, Wright was named Progress Division II Coordinator of the Year twice, as well as collecting 3 national championships. Wright was a winner on and off the field in Maryville and brings a unique tenacity to a rival. We'd like to wish Coach Wright only the best. Next year's travel to Warrensburg will be a warm welcome as 2 eras of Bearcat football collide. Hey, it's halftime. If you like what you see, make sure to click like and subscribe and click the bell to be the first notified when we post new content. But as we head into our second break of the show, make sure to stick around to catch a new look at BCU with the X. We'll be right back.
Welcome to BCU with the X. I'm Wiley Ray, and with me as always, once again, Jackson Phelps. Jackson, how are you doing today?
You know, I'm doing really well. Super Bowl Sunday here. We're inside the first week of BCU, getting to be back with you for another semester. And with the BCU crew is always a good thing, and we got a lot to talk about with winter sports.
Yeah, you know, we have a lot to talk about. It's been a while since we've talked about men's and women's basketball, so let's jump right into it. The women's team sitting 11-12 on the season.
Yeah.
Started out really, really hot as they had some top 5 wins, and now they're kind of sitting in that back burner in the middle of the MIAA conference, sitting at about 500, but looking to make some noise here with 6 games left in the season.
A lot of noises, you know, to be heard. You know, they got 2 top 5 wins to start the year. Number 5 Ashland at the start, number 1 Minnesota State on the 9th of November. You know, really quality wins. This team has a really they have great qualities. It's team chemistry is the strongest we've ever seen at Northwest with women's basketball. Coach Austin Meyer has been doing a great job kind of articulating everything. So as one of those, you know, we're talking about, you know, Kaylee Kesson, one of the best players on the women's basketball team. So she's been a great starter and a great leader on this team.
Yeah, you talk about Kaylee Kesson. She had the injury against Missouri Western and sat out the Central Oklahoma game in Edmond, and then had her reappearance against Rogers State on that Oklahoma road trip. But, you know, 21 points for Kesson bouncing back from that injury. You love to see that if you're the Bearcats. Having your star player back in that lineup, it just brings in a new hope and a new strength for this team.
It really does, Wiley. We'll have more to talk about that with Kaylee Keston.
No, Kaylee Kesson sitting 21 points on the season, you know, or 21 points against Rogers State on the road at Claremore. And so, you know, you kind of look at the season as the Bearcats in whole and how they run through Kaylee Kesson. Things look really nice for them right now, coming in with 6 games left in the season. Going from the top? Yeah, they want to. Nope, you're good.
I got the wrap.
Oh, okay. Nope, we're good.
Oh, I thought we were wrapping to go throw it to a segment.
Oh, no, we're good.
No, it's
no,
all
you're
good.
You're
it's all
good.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. We're all good.
Yep.
All right, cool. That
Perfect.
makes sense.
Welcome to BCU with the X as always. I'm Wiley Ray, and with me as always is Jackson Phelps. And Jackson, we have a lot to talk about since winter break.
We do. A lot of winter sports and action have kicked off. We can start off with the women's basketball team. 11-12 right now, sitting at the middle spot in the MIAA. They had 2 great top 5 wins to start the year. And just a lot of qualities in the last 6 games of the season that they could really come out and shine.
Yeah, sitting 11-12, middle of the pack is what I like to call it, the MIAA, and what has been a tough conference. And you just kind of look at some of the losses they've had and comparing it to some of the wins. I mean, they fell on the road at Fort Hays State by 24, who they beat prior in the season, or they lost by 10, prior in the season. But, you know, still looking at them, that's a team they might see in the MIAA tournament. So nonetheless, you know, looking out for that, kind of in that rough stretch for the Bearcats. And then, you know, following up a home loss was Washburn, and then they lose back-to-back, and then get the win again, Rogers State. But one player that has been impacting this team in a positive manner is Kaylee Kesson. Kesson missed the Central Oklahoma game, the first of 2 of the Oklahoma trip, but came back and scored 17 in her return, which was really nice to see for the Bearcats.
It really is. You get a player like Kaylee Keston, you know, she went down in the Mo-West game, but she has been such a great leader. One of the best three-point shooters and overall scorers in the MIAA, the best team leader we've seen on this women's basketball team in a long time. 21 points against Rogers State. She's really stepped into that role once again. She didn't let the injury affect her, and you know, you want to have that as a player in such a strong team like the Bearcats with Austin Meyer trying to develop these girls, and Kaylee Keston has been a perfect addition to do that.
Yeah, and you look at her just at the free throw, at the charity stripe too, 5 for 7, which has really been helping this Bearcat squad. And you know, let's take a look at the men who've had maybe more of a less than unfortunate season,
right?
Sitting at 4-18, and you know, you just kind of look at this season, and under the first term of Matt Keeley, things really aren't shaping up how they used to be, but there's still a lot of new things this team needs to try.
There is, you know, new regime, new team, whole new coaching staff as well. It's tough, and you know, Bearcat fans, it's a tough pill to swallow, but this is the life that we are in. 2-11 in the conference, an 8-game losing streak, 4-18 overall, just not the thing you're used to seeing here in Maryville. You know, 6 games left in the season. Kansas City's not really in sight, but it's still something that you want to build off of for the next year. Take these losses with a grain of salt, you know, learn from these. You know, it's a big learning year for the Bearcat men's team, and I think Keeley has made that known for his guys. You know, these losses don't mean that we lost, but it's something that we can build off of. So I trust Keeley in this offense and this team. So, and you know, about that team, a guy like Javion Byers. You know, Byers has done such a good job this year filling in that 6th man, and you know, he's done a great job being that kind of facilitator right off the bench.
Yeah, and you look at Javion Byers and just kind of look at how he's been facilitating for the Bearcats this season. He's really been doing a lot for them, and you know, just whether it's moving the ball around or finding that open man, or even just, you know, knocking down a couple shots, he really helps the team run through him rather than around him. And so that's one thing that you look forward to with a guy like him, or even Emery Knox or Moustakis and Chalmers. Like, these guys make big impacts on the team, and Javion Byers is really going to make a big impact as a junior from Liberty.
He is. Reminds me of Drew Holiday in the NBA. He just does really great job, pass-first kind of guy. He really likes to spread the ball along the floor, but he also knows how to score and when to score. He's a really great player, and I'm really excited to see what he can do for the Bearcats in the future.
Yeah, you know, and Byers not only is a great guy on the court, but he's also a great guy outside of the court. And our producer, Dante Distefano, sat down with Byers, and so we'll send it over to Dante with the Byers interview.
Javion Byers is a junior guard from Liberty, Missouri. Javion has had a very unorthodox journey to Northwest, but it's not about the journey to Javion, it's about the destination.
Out of high school, really when COVID hit, it was really hard to get a lot of Division II, Division I scholarships, so I ended up going the JUCO route, and I ended up going to Butler Community College my first year, and didn't pan out the way I really wanted it to, so I ended up leaving after 1 year there and transferred to another community college. So it's been a little journey, and I went all the way to North Dakota, which I was not expecting, at Lake Region State College, and I ended up having a great year individually. And
at Lake Region State College, Byers averaged 18 points and dished out 3 assists per game. He had offers from many different schools after his time in North Dakota, but there may have been a familiar Bearcat face that helped Javion make his way into a Bearcat green jersey.
Bennett Sturz had texted me. I committed late. He texted me and said, hey, like, we're looking for a guard, and, you know, they've been talking about you, and he was like, we should come up when you get back from school, you should come up and play. So I came up and played. They loved what they saw and got offered from there.
Javion talks about his struggles he had to overcome when taking the non-traditional route of college ball.
When you're a community college, it's really hard because everyone's trying to get out at the same time. You know, even though you're trying to be a team and win, you have teammates that are more selfish that are trying to get theirs to get out. I'll say one thing I learned is to not focus on those things, just focus on the team and focus on winning. And when I did that, everything fell on itself.
Despite the Bearcats' tough start to the season, Javion has grown as a player, redshirting the 2023-24 season to now averaging 15 minutes while racking up 6 points per game and shooting with confidence. For Bearcat Update, I'm Dante Distefano. I'll see you next week.
Welcome back to BCU with the X. I'm Wiley Ray, and with me in the studio right now is Jackson Phelps, and we're going to be going over something new this semester called Rays, Plays, and Highlights, where I break down Bearcat athletic highlights. And Jackson, the first one we have is the Bearcats against the #1 Washburn Ichabods in Bearcat Arena. And let's start this reel. So as you see, the Bearcats coming down. Javion Byers starting things at the top of the key, doing a good job of breaking it down. And as you see, Washburn looking kind of an overload situation on that left side. They hand it off, set up the screen on Byers, and just a little miscommunication there brings the top of the key 3 for the Ichabods. Now, Jackson, we talked a lot about this here in between segments, and right now, just looking at this, the Bearcats offense really just didn't communicate well on that screen.
They didn't. It's Javion Byers and down low with Radigan. Off that screen, Byers has a job to do, and it's to usually pop up to the perimeter to try and guard that wing shooter who's coming around, because right there you see the hole, and it's a great fundamental play by Washburn. You try and draw the defender off at the perimeter. You want someone on the help side defense to come down. It doesn't happen. This is just bread and butter for Washburn, and they played it very well. But on that, Byers needs to usually stay up top.
Yeah, and that's a reason why Washburn is #1 in the nation with plays like that. You overload that left side, and that leaves things open. And you saw in that near the end of that clip, before they kicked up to the top of the key, Marcus Glocks, he has to play help side, far side from the ball. So he can't really come down and crash when that guy goes down the lane.
No.
So you look at Marcus over here on the far side. That drives Marcus has to guard his guy. He comes over to play help side, and that really does not help him in the Bearcats, because that's a corner 3, and as we all know, everyone loves the corner 3. But Jackson, looking at this defensive breakdown for the Bearcats, this really, I think, is what kind of hurt them in that second half. They led by 3 going into halftime, and so things like that really hurt. But on the offensive side, let's take a look at this next play. This one starts with Knox. Knox going to kick it out to Byers here, sitting it over on the right side, and this really sets things up. Bearcats spread it out offensively, and they find Marcus Glock, the freshman, for a 3.
Right.
Glock locked down. He's a sharpshooter here for this Bearcat offense. It's just a quick, simple play where you're finding an open man, but Glock has catch and shoot, or he can fake it, go low with it, and really this has been a key for the Bearcats of finding themselves in the places and good spots of wanting to win a game this season.
It really is. It's all about the closeout. Washburn on that side, they're kind of in a zone defense approach, because right now Maury Knox moves it over to the left to Byers, and you see this defense. It crashes over mainly to the left.
Yeah.
And so Byers knows we have our three-point guy, one of the best in the MIAA, right there on the left wing. He knows, hey, Glock can get up and get that shot off right away. So he knows, I'm going to take my bet and know that Washburn's not going to close out in time. And look at that right there. Their closeout not there in time. Glock cashes from 3. And that has been Northwest's game all season long. Trying to find Glock, even though there's not much separation, it's all of a matter of how much time is that separation going to have.
Yeah, and even if that shot's not there for Byers, even you look at it, and it's still a great shot.
Right.
But now let's go to the women's basketball side of things. Kaylee Kesson in this one, as simple as it gets. Kaylee Kesson, smooth as a snake getting through that lane, and this was against the Washburn Ichabods at home earlier in the season in their second matchup. But as you look at this play and you break it down a little more with Kesson, Jackson, this really goes to show why Kesson just, boom, open lane, finds that open lane, takes it, attacks, and that easy layup, up and in. But that shows how she was quickly able to get to her 1,000th point of the season, which she reached over the weekend. But just a nice offensive breakdown. The Bearcats do a good job of spreading things out. And, that's been the success for this Bearcat squad.
It really is. Right there, Kaylee Kesson, one of the best in the MIAA. It's the quick first step. You look right here, she kind of gives a little jab to the right, and she immediately goes to her left. And she puts it in with the left hand as well. That's really hard to do for a basketball player, is to jab right and go immediately to the left off the front foot. It's the quickness that Keston has, the explosiveness that she has at the perimeter. Not just on the three-pointers, but she does know how to get to the rim quickly and efficiently. That first quick step is really lethal, especially in college basketball and in the pros. You see it in the WNBA as well for the women's side. It is so crucial to have a player like that who is explosive not only with her shot but also getting to the basket. So Keston, the leader that she is, not scared to try and approach with that type of attack.
Yeah, and once again, a nice breakdown, and she has that open in the corner 3 and also has it down low. But Jackson, this has been a great opening segment for Rays Plays and Highlights, and we'll be back next week with more Rays Plays and Highlights here on Bearcat Update.
We have for today. I'm your host, Jason Holland, and this has been Bearcat Update, the provider of complete coverage in Northwest sports. We are live every Sunday at 2, and you can find us on YouTube at KNWT TV. Along with Bearcat Update, you can watch KNWT's other content as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back in no time.